Natasha, one of the things that, of course, was talked about quite a lot here is the issue of safety. And this is, of course, against the backdrop of what the ANC campaigned about when it comes to building safer communities. But also this is part of what we also see as Vision 2030 in the National Development Plan to ensure that communities are free from crime.
Definitely, Bongiwe, and of course he touched on the tragic issues what we saw today in Soweto, in Gauteng, and of course in KZN. And I mean the issue of peace and stability, which is policy discussion documents that ANC delegates are actually discussing here, also came up. Earlier on I spoke to the ANC provincial chairperson, Mr. Panyaza Lesufi, and he had said that it's high time that ANC members through their policy discussion documents actually address such issues, but also these ANC officials calling on the security cluster not to be found wanting and saying that they actually should crack the whip, no stone should be left unturned. All those who had committed these heinous crimes should actually be brought to book and arrested. And of course the policy document of peace and stability also comes under the spotlight here in regards to these various issues that we saw in Soweto and in KZN, and of course here in Gauteng. But also the national spokesperson of the ANC, Bongiwe, is saying that the issue of crime needs a collective effort. It's not only upon the police to protect our communities, to protect our people, but communities themselves as well. So these are just some of the issues that going to the policy conference this month end, the ANC says will be high upon their agendas. The ANC's national spokesperson even suggesting that the chairs of those committees, more especially peace and stability, Mr. David Mahlobo, should probably come back and address members of the media on this issue. I remember very well, I was the journalist who was actually covering that discussion document of the ANC, which took place last month, and of course they had taken through their policies on this very issue here. But in regards to the issues of conference, there's just one more report, one more commission that needs to be tabled to conference. Of course, then they will be adopted. Those resolutions will be adopted, and then it will be the announcement of those 30 additional members. Following that, the acceptance speech there by the provincial chairperson, Mr. Panyaza Lesufi, and of course the ANC's Treasurer General, Mr. Paul Mashatile, will close the conference. So it will be a long night yet again, but of course as the SABC, it is our duty and our responsibility to give you all the latest in regards to this conference. Bongiwe.
And Natasha, just before I let you go, I mean, one of the things that Pule also talks about is, the importance, as you say, of, the police to also look at putting more people into the police service. But one also will juxtapose this with, when you look at peace and stability, for example, you also can't not look at crime intelligence, because that's also going to be critical to understand as to what exactly are we seeing happening in these taverns across the country.
Definitely, Bongiwe, definitely, you're quite correct. And some analysts, some experts have been saying that it seems as if it's a trend, seeing that, all these incidents actually took place in the wee hours of Sunday morning. And of course, we woke up to these shocking news, of course. So, this is something that they actually need to look into. But some people have raised, analysts, experts, people on social media have raised the issue. Is our security cluster actually found wanting? Is our intelligence cluster found wanting? So these are questions that really need to be answered by our officials. But of course we also spoke to NEC member Mondli Gungubele, who had said that, listen, police need to crack the whip when it comes to such issues. But of course as journalists we will be tasked with asking these questions and posing these very difficult questions to the relevant authorities and trying to get some answers in regards to this issue.
All right, Natasha, of course, as you say, a long night for you, but thank you so much for putting us in the picture there. That's Natasha Phiri, and this, of course, comes to the back of, the shootings that we saw in Soweto this morning at a tavern, 15 people dead, and also KZN as well in Pietermaritzburg. But also, we've seen several shootings in Khayelitsha, and these are some of the incidents that are being reported. You think about Limpopo, you think about some of the assault cases that are also being seen when it comes to some of these places, really some calls to get behind exactly what is going on here. We'll leave it there with Natasha for now.